Hey guys, let's explore the basic Spring annotations you need to know before getting to work on the Spring Boot application in your company. Let's list down the Spring annotations, which we will learn one by one with relevant demo as well. In the last video, we learned about the magic of Spring Initializer and how we can capitalize it to create a production-grade Spring Boot application quickly with minimal effort. Let's learn about at-rest controller annotation now. So let's continue from the project what we have created in the last project using Spring Initializer. So let's go on and create a new class called born baby controller. Let's mark the class as a REST controller. Basically, REST controller is responsible for handling all the incoming client requests and delegates it to the appropriate service method depending on the URL pattern of the respective request. And also, it's a convenient annotation that combines @controller and @response-body, which eliminates the need to annotate every request handling method of the controller class with @response-body annotation. Let's go on and create a simple endpoint which returns a new baby name. And most important thing is that to annotate the method with respect to get call type. Let's trap the URL pattern as /baby/name. Let's go on and run the Spring Boot application. So the Tomcat started on the port 8085. Let's trigger the basic endpoint. Yeah. Now let's explore @component and @autowired annotations on the list. Let's go to the project and now let's see how component annotation works. Let's modify the existing implementation that returned a baby name, which now will be coming from the service class. By labeling an entire class with the @component annotation, we can add objects to our application context. Let's go on and create a class. And then we'll label that class as with @component annotation. As usual, we'll go on and create a sample method which will return the baby service, which will return the baby name. So once we have registered the newborn baby service bean into the Spring application context, we can now go on and use the particular bean in anywhere around our application. Let's auto-wire the newborn baby service bean into our newborn baby controller using the @autowired annotation. Basically, auto-wiring feature of Spring Framework enables you to inject the object dependency implicitly. It internally uses setter or constructor injection. Remember, auto-wiring can't be used to inject primitive and string values. It works with reference only. Let's go on and create the auto-wiring for the newborn baby controller. So now let's return the baby name from the newborn baby service. Let's run the application to make sure if it's working. Yes. The next one on the list is the @value annotation. @value annotation gives you a convenient way to inject property values into your component. Basically, you can inject all the values, be it from environment variables or it can come from an external world using Spring Cloud Config Server as well. Go to the application and create a sample property. Let's say baby slash weight 2.5. And let's go on and straight away inject the baby.weight property into the newborn baby controller. All you have to do is create at value the dollar brace flower brace and the value name. By default, when the baby.weight property is not available in the application.properties or anywhere you are specifying, you can make sure you provide a default value for this property. Let me term that as no baby weight found. Let's import the annotation. Let's store the annotation. Let's store the property into our variable. What should we do now is, let's return both baby name and baby weight. It's done. Let's go on and run the application. Let's trigger the endpoint baby slash name. Yes. Let's comment the baby.weight property and let's see if it returns the default value provided over here. Yes. So this is about the at value annotation. Next on the list is at ComponentScan and at configuration annotations. Before going to at ComponentScan and at configuration, I want to say you that at ComponentScan, at configuration, and at enable auto configuration annotations are clubbed into one annotation called at Spring Boot application annotation, which is present on top of main class of every Spring Boot application. When you haven't used at ComponentScan explicitly anywhere in the application, by default, Spring Boot application scans all the beans under the base package, which is, in our case, is a package com.techwithrats.initializer. Let's have the bean in a different package where we haven't told Spring to scan the package explicitly. Whenever Spring couldn't recognize a particular bean, it always complains with consider defining a bean of type so and so in your configuration. Let's quickly see that without wasting much time. So by default, Spring could recognize all the components which is residing under this base package called com.techwithrats.initializer. What we'll do now is try to create a new package. And let's create a class. Let's say this as component scan text. What we'll do now is and to make sure this component scan bean is recognized and is added to the application context, we need to add this annotation at component. And let's auto-wire this particular bean into our Newborn baby controller. Method what we have created here. Now we get the expected exception saying that newborn baby controller required a bean of type com.temporary.componentScan test that could not be found. So what it means that Spring couldn't able to recognize the component scan test bean. To make sure the Spring recognizes the component scan test bean under the package com.temporary, we need to make sure that we need to add the component scan annotation with respect to base package explicitly. Let's do that. So this is a kind of array where you can specify n number of base package. So the application has started running. Let's hit the same endpoint. Yeah, it's working. Next is at configuration annotation. On startup, Spring creates the application context. This is the object that stores all the necessary dependencies so they can be wired into the application where they are needed. Spring refers these dependencies as beans. When we mark the annotation at configuration to the class, it gets automatically added to the Spring application context. Now we will create a custom configuration class. Let's name the class as app configuration. Let's annotate the class as configuration. We will create a custom bean called baby health provider now. An important point to note that configuration class informs Spring to create a new baby health provider object, and the at bean annotation informs Spring to add the returned class to the application context. It is then available to be injected anywhere requiring a baby health provider object. We are explicitly controlling the creation of this object. We can add more logic to the baby health provider method if required. So adding the bean annotation is one way of saying like to create a custom bean and adding it to the application context. To make sure the bean is created in the application context, now we will auto-wire the bean into the newborn baby service. Now we got hold of the baby health provider object in the newborn baby service. With this reference, we can access all the methods inside the baby health provider class. Since the newborn baby service component class and the previous app configuration class are in the same base package, Spring would automatically create a newborn baby service object at startup, calling the constructor with baby health provider created in the configuration. So this is about the at configuration annotation in the Spring framework. I'll be posting few more important annotations in Spring Boot in my part 2 of Spring Boot annotations topic. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the notifications as and when I am posting the videos. Meet you in the second part of the Spring Boot annotations. Until then, it's signing off from Ratin Maheshwaran. Thank you.